It's not good, but it's definitely a fast fail.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, Jim. Today on America's Greatest RV Mysteries. Today we're on the case, the mysterious floppy door handle.
When did you get the tenement on wheels?
Oh, that's an RV. Yeah.
This is on my 78 Bluebird FC31, but it probably is very similar, if not exactly the same, to many handles used on lots of RVs of this era. And what I have here is a floppy door handle. I hate it when that happens. So when you go to open it, you just barely pull it a little and the door releases. So you see the latch there with the floppy handle, it just barely pulls back, which means it's just barely grabbing the latch here. Yeah, I know my carpet's dirty, I need a vacuum. So it's just barely holding this in, holding it shut, and then also this side. Floppy, floppy, floppy. But if you push down, it will still pull it back a little ways. So barely enough to close and hold it. So what I'm going to do is take out that screw and that screw and that screw and the one you can barely see here, this screw, and the whole thing should come apart. Let me see. I'm just going to do it with a handheld here. Okay, we can see where I pulled out the two short screws from there and there. You don't have to mess with these big guys. They're just alignment lugs that line up with these slots and help the door have more rigidity when it's being shaken all over on the road. And now we're going to take out these two screws, which are longer, and then this back plate should come out. And you don't need to mess with that screw either. That's part of the door lock. There we go. It just falls right off. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with any of this other than needs to be cleaned up a little.
Shitter was full!
Lock mechanism looks a little grungy. It looks like it's got a little bit of grease on it that doesn't look too terrible. And I'm going to grab the handle here and operate it. I have to hold it here. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to pull the rest of this handle right on out. It just should slide right out. There we go. There. Now I'm going to take it into the garage and have a closer look. It sure is hot here today. Okay, the first thing I notice looking at this is that wear on this plate? No. That's the floppiness right there, because this is as far as it pushes. It's supposed to go that way to push this bolt out further. So if we go to full, look at that. The spring just fell off. What is that? These springs seem too short, but how could that be at that angle? I think, let me see if I can get this spring out of here. I should be able to unscrew it, I would think. Well, I'm right-handed. Let me switch hands here. There we go. What do we got here? So that spring, there must be a hole in the casting for that spring. Maybe that's all the problem. Let's see. So it looks like counterclockwise. Unwind it. There we go. Oh, look at that. There is a hole. don't know if you can see it really down in there, but that's where the spring is supposed to sit. And there's a hole that goes down inside. So now we have a bent spring because half of the spring had slipped down into the hole. So I need to get new springs. Wonder how hard that will be. Home Depot probably has them. But what's to stop them from going down the hole again? Maybe if I put it back in here with the bend aiming upwards, how long will it take it to slowly rotate and pop through the hole again? I guess I'm going to find out. I'm going to see if this will go back in there correctly with a twist and see what happens. So I think I'm going to put it on here first and then compress this end. Okay, that I'm going to have two hands or I'm going to lose this spring. I'll be right with you.
It's a good-looking vehicle, ain't it?
Yeah, it's so nice parked in the driveway.
Yeah, it sure does.
Good, good. I got it back in there the opposite way, and it feels pretty good and secure. So now I've popped this one off the pin, and if you look real closely at the way the wire is wound, you can see which way you need to rotate it in order to have it unscrew itself from where it's trapped. In this case, it looks like counterclockwise, and there it is. It just came out. Same condition as the other spring. So I'm going to turn this one this way and stick it back in, or I'm going to put it on the pin first and then stick it back in where it's supposed to seat. And then we're going to work this thing for a while and see. They may just end up turning and popping back down in that hole, in which case I'll have to do something else. But I think this might work. There we have it. This one's back in, spun around, so the kink goes downwards. And hopefully that doesn't interfere with the compression, but the bolt is now standing proud all the way out, and I can work it a little bit here if I can get my fingers going here. And it feels okay. It doesn't feel like it's binding on the springs at all, but you know, it's 4 screws, so I'm going to reinstall it. And look at that, the handle's not floppy. It's held back tight, just like it should be. So let me put it in and let's give it the final test and see if it actually works. Yeah, any luck at all, this will work at least for a little while. All right, give that a little snug it up just a bit, if I can get it in the... Okay, there we go. So look at that. The door handle is not saggy anymore. You move it just a little bit and the bolt moves. And it'll still pull it all the way. And look at that. Full return. Nice. No floppy out here. That works way better. Now let's see if it'll actually open and close. Nice. Solid. Hey. Look at that. That's the way it's supposed to be. I love it when a repair goes easy like that. It's just awesome. If you want more RV stuff, I'm going to be doing a little work in the kitchen of the Bluebird coming up soon. So, as always, thanks for watching.
Merry Christmas! Dinner was full!
Just watch this.